it's okay to feel sorry for yourself. You know, you're discouraged. Like, I'm discouraged right now. It's just, you know, I just am. It's just that season. Hi, it's Sonia here with a Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. And if you've never been here before, I normally post videos about knitting or crocheting. I have patterns, I have stitch tutorials, I talk about yarn. Today we're doing a crochet chat where I just sit here and crochet and we just chat about stuff. So today I am working on, this is a prototype shawl. I'm trying to figure out the edging for this guy. So I'm hoping to have this be a video for Friday, but I'm not sure. I'm working on this edging, so sometimes you know, I'll have to fiddle around with things before the pattern can actually come to life. So yeah, I am happy with the body of this, and I love the yarn. I think it's really pretty. It's Knit Picks Chroma. It's yarn that I got recently from a Goodwill haul, which I can post a link to that video if you're interested. I just really got lucky that day when I was at Goodwill and I found this gorgeous yarn in there, and I've been wanting to try this yarn for a while, and I just never, it's not super expensive, but it's not super cheap either, and I really didn't need it, but I did really want to try it, and so I just never got the opportunity to use it. So when I got this mystery bag of yarn, this yarn was in there, and it's called Knit Picks Chroma, and I was just so excited. And it's really been great to stitch with. I mean, these colors I absolutely love, and it actually feels pretty soft. It has wool in it, so sometimes with wool, I like projects with wool in them, but wool can be a little scratchy sometimes, and usually if I make something that's wool, I won't have it completely on my bare skin unless it's like a merino wool that tends to be softer. Where this, I don't think it's merino, it's just wool, but it's mixed with something else. But it doesn't feel too bad. And I don't know how big this guy is going to be because I only have 2 skeins of this yarn, so I'm trying to kind of conserve it. But you could probably make this project to be, you know, as big as you wanted. And the nice thing with this particular pattern, if you like making shawls, I'm using a G hook or 4.25 millimeter hook, which is a smaller hook, but you could definitely use heavier yarn. This is a fingering weight yarn, but if you wanted to make a shawl in worsted weight, if you don't really enjoy working with fingering weight, then you know, you could certainly do that with this project. Your shawl will just be bigger, which is fine. But yeah, this is what we're doing today, and I tend to post videos with when I do crochet chats before track meets, and today is no different. This is our very last track meet of the season, which I am not too sad about, to be honest. It's not been a great season, and you know, my daughter's just been, she's not loving it this much this year, and she's been really kind of cranky, and so I'm just sort of like ready for it to be over, and she might not be doing track next year, which makes me kind of sad but makes me kind of happy. My son did track for 4 years, and it was a really positive, great experience for him. He was not this cranky about track, but you know, she's been, I mean, she's a girl too, so, but yeah, I think she just bit off way more than she could chew this year. She just is involved in so many things, and we're heading towards the end of the school year, and I just really think everything's kind of piling on her. So she did say that she might not do track next year, which, you know, might be a good thing. We'll see. We'll see. She might feel differently next year. She thinks if she gets a car, that's just going to magically make everything better, which it will help, but it's not like a cure-all for everything. Just because you have your own vehicle doesn't mean life's going to be great. I have my own vehicle, and you know, life's not always great, you know, and let's talk about that. I've been really discouraged lately with just life in general. I mean, a lot of you know that my husband died 3 years ago, so that's a discouragement in itself. It wasn't an expected death, so, just navigating being a widow, I'm kind of at this weird age where I'm not young, I'm not old, I'm 50, well, some people might think I'm really old, I'm 51, so that's kind of young to be a widow. I know there's people that are a lot younger than me, but I didn't think I would be at this age a widow. I thought we were going to be empty nesters, and of course somebody always has to go first, but I just thought, it'll be further down the road, and it happened at 48. So that was very unexpected, and just trying to navigate that, trying to make life work. I've been really trying to be more present on YouTube and make it a success, and it's just not been. That's just been a huge discouragement. I know I probably could work even harder at YouTube, but I still have to run my house, and my main focus is my children. So, I had one get married this year. I, got one that's in college and one's in high school, and so that's, definitely has to be more my focus in taking care of my house and my dog, and, just normal life stuff that, if any of you have a family, so sometimes YouTube just isn't a priority, but I am trying to make it more a priority, because I would like to not have to work outside of the home if I could. I'm not sure how I would manage everything working outside of the home, and I like to keep my home. So it's just been a lot, and so YouTube, I love making videos, I love sharing what I do, I love creating patterns and putting them out there, but it's just hard when you're doing all of that and nobody's watching it, I'm not getting views, I'm not real good at promoting myself. I never have been. I'm more of a behind the scenes kind of person. I've never been one, which is kind of weird because I'm on YouTube, but I remember, trying to get, let's say you're going for a job interview or something like that. Oh, you have to sell yourself, which sounds terrible. And I've just never been really good at talking myself up, or I guess marketing. I guess a big thing of it is marketing. So I'm not really good at marketing and doing this, whole YouTube thing. And I know I don't have a lot of the fancy equipment and stuff like that. So, and I can't afford the fancy equipment, so that, puts me behind as well. And also learning, again, I'm old, so I'm not up with all this technology stuff with what the young kids have, and and editing, and it's been a lot. And so it would be nice to have a little reward with that, with all the work that you put into it, that people actually watch it, and probably hardly any of you are going to watch this, it's just the way it is. I haven't figured out the secret sauce, I guess, with this whole YouTube thing. I've been trying to, post more on Instagram. I don't really enjoy Instagram. I find it kind of confusing to navigate, to be honest, and I would prefer to do things on my computer, but for some reason my computer will not let me post on Instagram, even though I know they changed that where you can upload content on Instagram from your computer, but for some reason it doesn't work for mine. So, so I, try to figure out my phone. I have an old phone, and I'm constantly running out of storage on my phone. I know I need to get a new one, but I've just been trying to kind of nurse it along, because, other things are more important. You had to pay my taxes, taxes are important, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's just been a big discouragement, where at times I just kind of want to quit and give up, but then I'm like, I really don't want to, because I do like doing it, and So, you know, it's just one of those things, you know, and then you doubt yourself, and then you think, I'm just not good at what I do. And I know that my videos are not like state of the art or anything like that. I know that, you know, I'm not, I don't have a fancy setup. Currently my camera is pretty old. It's at least 10 years old. I have it propped up. My tripod that I'm using is broken. I make it work, and it's sitting on a bed because the room I'm now filming in is a guest room slash filming room, craft room, which I'm really happy to have because I used to do everything in my bedroom, which that was kind of frustrating because I prefer that room to actually be a bedroom. But, you know, and so now I have this set up and just trying to figure it out, and, you know, I would like to have a better camera, but, you know, I'm the type of person, I use what I have and try to make it work. So I'm trying to make it work, but I guess it's not working. So, but yeah, that's kind of my little pity party, I guess. And I'm not big on pity parties. Even like people will be like, "Oh, your husband died, and you know, life's hard," and it is hard, but there are people out there that have it a lot worse than I do. You know, I try not to feel sorry for myself for too long. As I tell my kids, like, it's okay to feel sorry for yourself. You know, you're discouraged. Like, I'm discouraged right now. It's just, you know, I just am. It's just that season. But you don't want to stay there. Like, so I'll tell them it's okay to be discouraged. It's okay to have your pity party, but then you need to dust yourself off, pick yourself up, and then just keep going. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And, you know, but I just thought I would share and, you know, try to keep it real because that's what's been going on, and try to figure out this whole YouTube thing, try to get the videos seen. But, you know, maybe my stuff is crap, you know, maybe it is. Maybe the things, my patterns that I make, they're just not good. I don't know. So if any of you watch this, and I'm not looking for a bunch of praise, but, you know, I'm not looking for a lot of criticism either. I've had a lot of criticism in my life. I'm not going to get into the backstory of that, but I always am willing to hear constructive criticism. So if you're just going to tell me that I suck, these videos are terrible, like, I really don't want to hear that, because I have had to deal with that a lot in my past, and I don't want to go there, and if I see that, I'll just delete it. So, but, you know, I don't think that many people watch this, but, you know, if you are saying, yeah, your patterns aren't very good, like, nobody wants to make that stuff, they're not very nice, whatever, then, or maybe suggestions of things that I should make. Now, something that I will never make on this channel, so if you suggest it, just forget it, is stuffed animals. Or it was amigurumi. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly. I think it's Japanese, basically, for a stuffed animal. Stuffies, whatever. I know they're super popular and they're cute, but I do not like making them. I pretty much hate making them, to be honest. It's just something that I am not interested in getting into. I'm sure I could make patterns for them, but I just really, that is probably my least favorite thing to crochet. I just don't like it, so not gonna do it. No matter how popular they are. And, you know, and if you like to make those things, that's wonderful. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. We all have likes and dislikes with crocheting or knitting, and that's just one of mine. I have made them in the past. I've made, I wish I had pictures. I made a kangaroo, like a mommy kangaroo with a baby in its pouch for my little brother when he was little, and it was so cute. But it was miserable to make. I just did not enjoy the process. I didn't enjoy making it. I mean, I enjoyed giving it to him, and he loved when he was little. My brother is 21 years younger than me, so when he was little, you know, it was fun to have a little brother like that, and you know, buy him toys and just see the excitement. And he loved stuffed animals when he was little, so you know, I really enjoyed making that for him. Well, I didn't enjoy making it, but I enjoyed giving it to him and seeing the happiness on his face. That meant the world to me. But if someone asked me to make another one, I'd be like, no, not gonna happen. And I made, you know, I made a couple things here and there, and I think it was sort of like, I'll just make another one, and you know, this time I'm gonna like it. And I didn't. I just, you know, so I've come to the conclusion, I don't enjoy making stuffed animals. I don't want to crochet them. I just don't want to. Now I do like making doll clothes. That's, you know, kind of in the toy realm. I do enjoy that. But I would never want to make a doll. And then if someone else crocheted a doll and asked me to make an outfit for it, I'd be like, yes, that would be great. But I don't want to make the doll and then make the outfit. No, thank you. So we'll stick with the doll clothes. I do like making shawls. I made blankets. I did post a recent blanket square, so let me show that to you. So here it is. Here is my latest. Ends are not woven in, but this is a blanket square. I actually think it turned out really pretty. I was playing around with this stitch, the flower in the middle. It's kind of like a 3D effect, and I was gonna make, I had another idea in my mind, but it wasn't working. And then I just sort of was playing around with the stitches, and I thought, I have this yarn, like I need to get rid of, I need to do something with it. Because I was actually going to make another blanket with these colors, and it was a big fat fail. That will never be on the channel because it just wasn't turning out at all. So I you know, frogged that guy, unraveled it, and had this yarn in a bag, and was like, I need to do something with it. So this was the result of that fail. So sometimes when you have a fail, it's okay, it happens with projects, or if you're designing and it's a fail, it's part of the process. But then other times something will result out of it. So this was the result of the first fail, and I think it's really nice. I really am actually quite proud of it. These making blanket squares are another thing that are not my favorite thing to make. I prefer to make things that are one piece, like this. This is a one piece. I do love color work, so I love that there's colors, but I usually when I do color work, it's like in rows or even in rounds. I mean, this is in rounds, but I try to streamline the ends. I mean, but this can have ends. But I actually really enjoyed making this project, and I have another one of these. So here it is, and I'm playing around with making this into a big giant square blanket. We shall see if I'm going to, I'll see how it looks on camera. Sometimes when you see something in real life and you're just like, or you look at it too long, you know, like we've all made things or written things or done things, and you look at it too long and you're just like, this is terrible. But then if you see like a picture of it, or if I see something I filmed, and I'll be like, wow, that looks really nice, or that's like, yeah, that's not good. So I'll have to see when I edit this how it's going to look and whether I want to keep going with this. And so yeah, we'll see. But I like these colors together. My daughter thinks they look like fall, and it does look like a fall blanket. That wasn't really the intention. I just have a lot of especially these reds, and this is some really old ancient yarn. This is some vintage yarn that I have had in my stash for years that I'm not even sure where it came from. I might have gotten it at a thrift store years ago, or I'm thinking I got it when my husband was still alive, and he was working with somebody, and I guess he told them that I like to knit and crochet, and they were like, oh, well, we have a bunch of like yarn and crafts. I remember there was like yarn and fabric, which I don't like sewing, so I think I gave that to my mom, and just a bunch of craft stuff. But there was a lot of yarn in like a giant, it's like this weird barrel thing that they gave my husband, and he gave it to me. So I think that yarn came from that, possibly, or I did get some yarn from my mom. I think that she got from her friend, and my mom didn't want it. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I always say that yarn just kind of comes to me, which it's not a bad thing. I usually don't turn down yarn unless it's like yarn I know that I really won't use, like mohair. Don't like mohair, or I'm not a big fan of like super chunky yarn. Like, I feel like the really chunky yarn that's out today, it looks like intestines to me. I don't know. Like, I'm talking about the yarn, like it's like this. So if you've seen it at, you know, Joann's, Hobby Lobby, and I'm sort of like, what do you make with that? I guess you would make those like big, those blankets that were really popular a couple of years ago. I think they were more knitted, but those really chunky, I think they were making them out of roving, which, you know, they were really beautiful, but I think that's kind of fragile, because roving is supposed to be turned into yarn. I don't think those blankets were holding up very well. So then I guess the solution to that, to get on with the trend and the craze, was to make intestine type yarn so that you can make those big hefty blankets. But yeah, I don't like that kind of yarn. It's not. Actually, somebody gave it to me and I got rid of it because I was like, I will never use this. I don't want to use it. And so I goodwilled that, and I thought, you know, there's somebody out there that loves this yarn and they're going to be really happy to have it. So yeah. But yeah, I try not to turn down yarn because I do make a lot of patterns, and I don't like to use the fancy yarn right off the bat if I'm not sure if a pattern's going to work. Like this guy, I was playing around with the stitch pattern first before sorry, my camera sometimes just randomly turns off, which, you know, that's a great thing. So but yeah, I was talking about, I don't like to just, you know, use the really nice yarn if I'm not sure about a pattern. So I did do a prototype. Now with the edging, I am doing a prototype. I will have to frog the edging because I want to film it, and I'm not going to make, if I want to have this out by Friday, I'm not going to make a whole other shawl. I do not have that time, so I will frog. So I'm just working on a little part of it to see. I think I like it. I think it's going to be pretty. So yeah, we shall see. Stay tuned. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to get this out. I hope so. You know, even though I don't work outside of the home, I'm always super busy. I know everybody always says that. They're like, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm so busy. You know, I'm so busy. But it really is kind of true. And I know it's a season in life right now, like, you know, I still have one in school and she's doing all these activities. So that just takes up so much of my time, because my goal, as I said earlier, is to really, you know, my children and my family is my focus. But, you know, they're going to leave the nest. I know my goal is to help them to be successful so that they can leave the nest, because I do feel like a lot of young people today, they don't have the tools to know how to navigate life. And you know, you need somebody that's going to kind of guide you and help you. So that's kind of my goal with parenting, is to launch my kids into society so that they can be successful adults, and not just successful by like financially. Of course I want them to have a good job where they can support themselves, but also, you know, successful in social aspects of, well, like, you know, a lot of young people, they don't know how to order at a restaurant. They don't know how to talk to somebody on the phone. Everything's with text. They don't know how to send a letter through email. I know we used to, back in the day, I'm 51, so we used to actually write letters. I know, if you're younger, you'll be like, what's that? What's a letter? But even though we don't physically write letters anymore, we still need to send emails a lot of times. So you do need to know how to communicate so that you can, you know, especially if you're requesting something, you need to communicate in a way that will be receptive to, you know, your request. Because if you're abrupt or rude, you know, well, then they're just going to be like, I don't want to deal with you. So, you know, those kind of things, I've been really trying to help my children, teach my children how to do that. So that takes time. But I know, you know, I've already got one that's left the nest. So, you know, I can check off that box. She got married and has a good job. You know, she's starting at the bottom, but she has her own place, her and her husband. She married a really nice young man, and, you know, she's doing her thing, and I'm really proud of her. So, you know, I guess my efforts paid off in that respect. And, you know, now I've got another one in college and working on him, and, you know, he's getting there, and I've got my youngest one. So that's a lot of my focus and just helping them. And so I know they're going to leave me, and that's the goal. I want them to leave, you know. I don't want them to be the kid that's living in my basement, you know. So the busyness will slow down, and it's just like if you're a new mom and you're going insane with a baby, you're not sleeping, you know, you're constantly picking up messes, and when you have littles, you're always wiping something, wiping a butt, wiping a nose, wiping a mess, you know, like that's just how sometimes you just feel like you're just wiping. But then one day that ends, it does. And, you know, when you're in it, you feel like you're in it forever, but then one day it's over. And so, you know, I know that my time with my kids is coming to a close. You know, of course, I have a good relationship with my children, but, you know, they're not going to be with me all the time. So I am going to have more time to just do my own thing. So, you know, I try not to complain about it too much, but, you know, it can be a lot. I am a little bit more of an introvert, which I know is kind of funny. I think a lot of people on YouTube are more introverts because I do like talking with people, but I'm in a large group of people. That can be a little stressful for me. And if I am in a large group of people, I always need that downtime. And I like to be at home to kind of recharge. Like I had a big gathering in my house about almost 2 weeks ago, and it was wonderful and it was really successful. But for days after that, I remember thinking, why am I so tired? But I think it's because all of that socialization really sucked the energy out of myself. And because I was hosting the party, you know, I am the type of person, like if you're at my house, I really want you to be comfortable at my house. And so I try hard to be a good hostess. I do. I just want people to feel comfortable, to feel relaxed, to just be able to come and just be like, oh, you know, like they don't have to worry. So that's my goal. You know, if you come over but then that's tiring, you know, because there's a lot that goes into that, and, you know, and there's a lot of cleanup. And so, yeah, it took me a couple days to recover from that. And I think a lot of it, yes, physically it's hard, but I think it's like mental tiredness as well, because if you're in a social situation, you have to be, as I say, on and like, and I'm not always that kind of person. I tend to be more quiet and reserved, which you probably see that on here. Like, I'm not that exciting. I'm just, you know, I'm just myself. And I do have that face where I feel like I might feel really happy, but it's not coming across on camera. unless I'm like really exaggerating my smiles and laughs and all that stuff. Like, and I noticed my whole family were kind of like that. Like my sisters, I have sisters, and my mom, you know, we're just kind of like, we're, you know, not blank faces, but just we're stoic looking, I guess, in a way. And but we're not really stoic people. My family is pretty down to earth, and but we just look like we are. So, but can't help the way you look, you know. But yeah, so I just had to check my time because I'm gonna have to leave soon. This track meet is starting later, so it's gonna be a late night. Fortunately though, it is at a local school, so this is the closest one. It's only about 10 minutes away. I'm like, yay! So I don't have to drive an hour, because last week's track meet was about an hour away and it was really hot. So as you can see, as I live in Pennsylvania, and I've like shared in other videos, Pennsylvania weather is just pretty wild, especially this time of year. So I'm in a sweatshirt because it's chillier out today, but not like super cold, because I don't like the cold. So that's pretty good, pretty nice. So yeah, I'm gonna have to get ready to go. She asked for some snacks and things like that, so I got to get those ready for her. And hopefully the last meet will be a good meet. They actually won the meet that was an hour away a week ago, so that was really great, and that was a really good boost for the team, because it's been a rough season for all the kids. It just has. But you know, as I've said in the past, like that's just the way it goes with sports. You just, you know, you can't win them all, especially if you've had winning seasons in the past. Like, what is it saying? What goes up must come down. And you know, they were up for a while. Like when my son was on the team, you know, they had a championship season. They were on fire, but you know, it's hard to sustain that. So now they're kind of in the down, but I think, you know, maybe next year it'll go up again. You know, that's just the nature of sports. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And if you didn't, just scrolling by, that's okay. And I will see you next time. Bye!